Hello, so I recently helped out with Bhuta's brand new model, and I wanted to show you some feature highlights and explain just a little on how I made them in Live 2D. The focus for this model was simplicity. Bhuta wanted a model that had a focus on the face, keeping the body angles minimal and the physics to be just a little simpler than usual. She also wanted to learn Live 2D, so she began with doing the head angles and then she asked me for help after. As the illustrator herself, she obviously knew best what the face would look like from side to side, so I basically did no changes to that. Very nice. Let me just turn the deformer off so you can see it a bit better. Very nice, very cute. The first thing that I helped out with was the hair swaying, so I started with creating 4 new parameters for each of the left and right side, so that's 8 parameters in total. So this is the left side's 4 parameters and this is the right side's 4 parameters. And then I went into the hair and created parameters for the parts that I thought would move. Originally I thought that this part was part of the bangs or the front hair, but I was actually mistaken, and the only part that moves that much is the side tails, I guess. I created 3 warp deformers for each side tail, so that's 3 on the right side and 3 on the left side. The topmost deformer moves the top of the hair, so like the pinch point of this, where it gathers here. This is basically where the quote-unquote joint would be, if you're imagining it like it's bones. And then you move it in this way. And then the middle deformer moves the midpoint of the hair. And then the second last deformer moves from here. And then I just use the art textures to move the very tips of the hair for the 4th parameter. And then I use the art textures for the midpoints of the hair to create more depth during angles. And in the physics settings, I have 2 hair sways, one left and one right, and I just made the right one opposite to the left one during X and Z. So here and here. For the poncho, I started with following her head angles to create the poncho angles. Oops, hold on. And then the fun part, I thought it would be super cute to have the poncho ears move in a sort of exaggerated way. So I created this movement with 2 parameters for each side, 4 in total. And then I created 2 deformers for each ear. So the topmost one moves the entire ear in a very exaggerated way. And then the bottom one moves just the midpoint of the ear. And then I use the art textures once again to just create some depth during angles. The final touch was adding some physics to the cute floating ghost companions that Bhuta has. These little ghosts hover around her, so I wanted to keep it pretty lively and bouncy as well. The ghosts have 3 main movements, bobbing up and down, the side to side drifting, and then just for a little whimsy, we have the ear sway. And this is what each one looks like. Because this one isn't attached to anything, I connected it to the breathing parameter so that it would float while she's breathing. Her bag is attached to its own parameters, but it's also attached to the ghost squishing parameters, so it's very cute. So her iced coffee is just 2 parameters actually. We have the left to right sway of the liquid, and then you've got the up and down sway of the liquid. And this is what it looks like in motion. And there's also like a coffee drinking animation here. And so it still moves a little bit if there's still coffee in the drink, but if it doesn't move anymore. It's just the ice, but doesn't move anymore. I really enjoyed working on this model with Buddha, and it's honestly such an honor. If you know anything about Buddha Sensei, you'd know how crazy this is. Actually, a while back, one of my VTuber children's model art was done by her, and I remember getting the email and looking at it, and then she wrote down the artist as Buddha Sensei, and I was like, what? No way, it's not the Buddha that I'm thinking of. And it was. So I was really happy to be able to work on this, and she does really cute art, so please check her out. この番組はご覧のメンバーの提供でお送りしました。And if you're interested in learning more about Live 2D or want to see more of the process, feel free to check out my other videos or drop a comment if there's anything you want to see. Thank you for watching!